Like, don't do that. Don't do that. I like, if anything happened to me, don't let me leave in vain. He was like, I ain't gonna let you leave in vain. Cause if I say something, then that means something gonna happen to me too. If something happened to me, then you left in vain. A little tips, just a little bit. Ain't nothing. Oh my God. Jesus. Okay.
Oh, you just people. This is not your show. This is not your show. It's not your show.
Hey, mine. Blah.
Okay, this is not your turn. You just got. So I don't know how you sleep at night thinking that we living on the track.
That's why I told you.
Get out my car.
You get out of my door?
No, you get out my car. Get out my car.
Get out of my door. Get out of my
Back again. It's your boy Ramaj. I'm coming to y'all today with a different kind of video, okay? I wanted to sit on the porch, you know, sip my cocktail. And then I started high thinking, right? And you know, when you're high thinking, you end up with high thoughts. Me, whenever I'm high thinking, I go in rabbit holes. Like, I start doing investigations. I really turn into an uncertified investigator. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not giving y'all any facts, right? But, and most of the things that I was thinking about while high thinking was the Jonathan ODDI video, and how a lot that he said in his interview just started to come into fruition years later. I'm just gonna give y'all the evidence of certain things that he said and how that turned out for everybody. Okay, I'm just gonna do that one thing, that one big one from this Jonathan interview. It is basically, I guess you could say, I'm doing a deep dive with conspiracies. Okay, in fact, yes, disclaimer. Okay, nothing that I'm saying in this video is true, allegedly. Okay, and everything that I'm saying is allegedly. These are all conspiracies. I don't know none of these people that I'm talking about. All I'm doing is relaying information that I'm getting from the internet. Okay. And there's some serious shit, but I'm going ahead and put a disclaimer out there now. If I get a cease and desist for anything in this video, just know that it ain't, they ain't gonna have to worry about me talking about it no more. Okay, I'm good. Yeah, I'm that one. So if I get any cease and desist because I don't want to be deceased and exited, I ain't fucking with it. Okay, I'm gonna leave that shit alone. Okay, so if y'all see me over here in the next video, anytime you see me, just be like, oh, that nigga done been touched. Yep, he done been touched. They done sent him something. They done told him shit. Fuck up. I'm just saying, they only got one time. I told y'all in the last video, I got shit depending on me. But let's get into this.
I take my case and off.
Given the serious nature of these charges, I will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you for this preliminary first appearance hearing. Anything else?
ODDI's attorney, who's just off camera, returns to the false fire alarm charge.
As far as I didn't see necessarily the alarm pushing, but that might not to push along. I didn't see necessarily the alarm pushing, but that might not to push along.
ODDI just incriminated himself by admitting to the fire alarm offense.
You know,
ODDI decides to continue talking, but his attorney has hit the mute button.
If you want to speak, it's fine. I'm happy to listen. Your attorney turned the microphone off, though. Probably a wise move.
He had to say that his attorney blocked out, because clearly he had a lot to say. He had a lot to say later. But just to catch y'all up to speed, if y'all don't know what's going on with all of that, he went into the Trump Towers, basically, and his reasoning for doing it was to...
Basically, what I did that for is to transmit a statement to the American people and to Donald Trump that we're not accepting any more corruption and abuse from their system of friends. Okay?
Again, he said that he was at all these freak offs and he was hearing a lot of stuff, and we gonna keep going, okay? I just wanted y'all to know, like, why was this man running around, jumping around? They was actually pow-powing him. The popo was pow-powing him.
Against Donald Trump, okay? Because he used to belong to their side. You understand? He used to belong to that illuminated group that I told you about, which is an elite group, okay, of individuals which run the whole country. All right? All right.
Now, do y'all not remember before Donald Trump was running for president, he was cool with everybody. Jesse Jackson, Oprah, you know, everybody was kicking it with him. He was in these streets. Y'all remember that? Before he ran for president?
Please welcome Donald Trump.
Watch your head. Very tall. How are you? Nice to see you. How's it going?
Who's mad? Donald Trump. Joy said the guy wears a tube.
He says that it's his own hair. So I believe him because I believe Donald. He's an upstanding American. And have Republicans considered replacing their candidate, as Sonny pointed out, with someone who isn't a twice impeached serial liar and a convicted felon?
Oh my God.
Okay, you ready? Come in. Let's check it out.
No, it's true. It's real.
It's not very pretty, but it's real.
Well, we all know that Trump is a liar and a thief. You know? We know that. So it's not that big a jump to say that he obstructed and he lied.
Beautiful woman up there. That's your mother, isn't it, huh?
Yeah.
Ah,
Look at her.
Hello.
Yeah.
How are you?
She's available if you're interested. I'd like to offer her. I don't want to give him a platform because it validates him. And for me to have someone on the show, I have to at least admire them in some way. And
Y'all remember? Y'all remember? Let's talk about it.
Okay? Donald's still blind because he thinks that he let Hillary off the hook and she's okay. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm trying, okay. Keep going.
You famously said regarding Hillary Clinton, lock her up. You declined to do that as president.
Hillary Clinton, I didn't say lock her up, but the people would all say lock her up, lock her up. Okay. Then we won. And I said pretty openly, I say, all right, come on, just relax. Let's go. We're going to make our country great.
Crooked Hillary, wait. Crooked, you should lock her up, I'll tell you.
Tell you what, for what she's done, they should lock her up. She's disgraceful. It's disgraceful.
Lock her up is right.
It ain't like that. The CIA, and then they want to do the same thing that they did to JFK, okay?
All right.
Why? Because they want the United States to fall. They've already been creating a state of chaos and confusion in the United States, and they want the United States to fall. Donald was against their agenda and won the presidency, okay? He did get help from Russia. He did get help from the Saudis. He also got help from a lot of Republicans in here, which is the electoral college vote. And he got a lot of support from Republican people. Okay?
I just want to make a note on that note, you know, for a lot of people that don't know, you know, the first party was the Democratic Party, right? Meaning the Democratic Party was already established during slavery, right? Yeah, okay. And do you also know that the first Republican president that we had was Abraham Lincoln?
Back in the day, all the southern pro-slavery states were in fact Democrats. Since the founding of the Democratic Party in 1829, they stood for pro-slavery as to obtain all the white voters at the time. The Republican Party, which came from the Whig Party, came into the scene in 1854 and stood as an anti-slavery party. Its mission was to stop the spread of slavery into the new Western territories and to abolish it entirely. In the 1857 Dred Scott versus Sanford, the court ruled that slaves were not citizens, instead property. The 7 justices who voted in favor of slavery were all Democrats. The 2 justices who voted against were both Republicans. 6 days after the Confederates surrendered, Abraham Lincoln was assassinated by John Wilkes Booth, a Democrat. The founder of the Ku Klux Klan was a Democrat by the name Nathan Forrest. Democratic historian Eric Foner said, "In effect, the Klan was a military force serving the interest of the Democratic Party." When later the Civil Rights Act came into being, with 80% of the Republicans supporting the bill and only 70% of the Democrats supporting it, and filibustered the bill for 75 days until the Republicans were able to muster up enough extra votes needed to get it passed. Since this change after the Civil Rights Act, the Democrats changed stances and said, "If black people are going to vote now, they might as well vote Democrat." President Lyndon Johnson said, "We're going to get those voting Democrat for the next 200 years. The Democrats fought hard against Abraham Lincoln, and all the southern states were Democrat. Abraham Lincoln got 0 votes from the southern states, which at the time were all Democratic states. Most people don't know that Abraham Lincoln was the first Republican president, and because of him, all the slaves were freed. When you think of the southern states, most people wrongly think they were Republicans when in fact they were Democrats during that whole time.
Okay, and I'm sorry, but as an African American, I like him. I do. I like him, and I like what he did. He made it to where I can sit here and talk to you guys. Hello? People? Just saying.
Okay. The elections, yeah, they weren't fair, but he wanted the electoral college vote.
Right.
Which is the Republican vote, basically, he got him through, okay? He didn't get the popular vote, okay?
I hear you.
So basically, the interior, he made it. He's president-elect by electoral college. So he made it. The situation is that he still hasn't kicked out the corruption from the system. He's letting them stay due to money, basically, because they all like making money. That's why they're all billionaires, etc. So there's only this select few.
Their ties to pedophilia don't end there. Monica Peterson was a research intern at the Laboratory to Combat Human Trafficking and a research fellow and assistant director at the Human Trafficking Center. She also served on the Colorado Human Trafficking Council's Data and Research Task Force. Peterson wrote and spoke prolifically on human trafficking. On August 15, 2015, Monica announced her plan to visit Haiti to conduct research on human trafficking and subsequently began living there full-time. On January 3, 2016, Monica shared with her friend Bella some of her findings based on her fieldwork in Haiti up to that point. Quote, "Ms. Clinton has corrupt and dirty business to finish in Haiti. This is the theory my master's thesis puts forth. This is modern structural slavery. But the real significance of this scandal for me, I know you feel me, Bella, is the link to contemporary slavery and trafficking. I can't say to what extent, but there is human trafficking happening through the Clintons' Caracal complex." By this point, Monica seemed to be investigating the Clinton Foundation's child trafficking ties full-time. On November 13, 2016, Monica Peterson was reported dead in Haiti, although no body was ever retrieved for the family's burial service. Monica's family was told that she committed suicide, but they were kept in the dark as to the exact details of her death.
She seemingly took her own life by hanging. But since that time, things that have come to light that just don't fit with Monica's life. None of this seems to fit, and maybe that's just the way it's always going to be.
Peterson's professor, Claude Estrie, said the following about her death. Quote, "She decided to take on one of the demagogues in the field of human trafficking. She produced a 110-page analysis of human trafficking in Haiti. 2 years of research. We were looking for someone who was smart enough and maybe brave enough to publish her work. I will continue to seek out and publish it for her." After making this statement, D'Estrie suddenly disavowed any connections between Peterson and human trafficking and the Clintons. D'Estrie said Peterson had gone to Haiti a number of times, but she was not there to research human trafficking and was not investigating the Clinton Foundation. Why would D'Estrie do a public 180? It turns out that he worked as a supervisor in the U.S. Attorney's Office on behalf of DynCorp between 1999 and 2002. This coincides with the exact time period DynCorp was caught sex trafficking children in Bosnia and Kosovo, and no prosecutions were made. DynCorp played an active role in sexual abuses in Haiti.
I'm sorry, and unless you have been living under a rock lately, you know what I'm saying? This whole, transporting of human beings, this flesh transportation going on, and, weaponry transportation, that is very, very prevalent nowadays. We're hearing it over and over and over again. And I don't know about y'all. I don't know. They like to scrub stuff from the internet. Again, this is just conspiracy.
There's select few that run the country, okay? So, I know you may or may not, I know you're gonna believe me. You have what's called the Illuminati. Illuminati. Okay. Yeah, Illuminati. Okay. They've made it in dance. Basically, what it means, illuminated.
I got you.
Okay. They do satanic ritual abuse, which is basically CIA mind programming techniques to their own family, kids, etc. in the group, and they bond that way. Okay, so they do sexual pedophilia, they do animal abuse, killing of animals, blood sacrifices, and everything in the Bohemian Grove. Okay, the Bohemian Grove, the bushes go there.
Bohemian Grove is this place in California where all the elites go and they put fucking druid costumes on, and they worship Moloch, the owl god, and everybody thought it was bullshit. But John Ronson and Alex Jones snuck in, and this is in like the 90s?
That's free. You don't burn me once again.
And Nixon went there, and Reagan went there. Yeah, Bohemian Grove. You don't know what it is?
Nixon and
Bohemian
Reagan
Grove is a famous place where rich world leaders would meet in Northern California, and they literally worship this Moloch, the owl god.
They cousins with the Clintons. Okay, so is Donald Trump. He's also a distant cousin. So if you see, there's a direct correlation of the presence of the United States being bonded between family ties, okay?
Gotcha.
All these family ties, while not, go back to the same place. The royal family in England, okay? The family here of the Illuminati are descendants of the royal British family.
Mind-blowing, a 7th grader spent her summer building a presidential family tree, and she discovered that every single United States president, with the exception of one, were all related. And all of them, every single one of them, are descendants of one single person, the former King of England, John Lackland, who signed the Magna Carta in 1215. Nobody had put this together before because most genealogists only focused on on the male side of the family. But she went ahead and put together the male and female lineage of every single president and discovered that every one of them are related, except for Martin Van Buren. This is something that definitely makes you look at the big picture a little bit differently. Check this out.
George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, William Howard Taft, and President Barack Obama. One young girl traced them all back to one common ancestor.
They're all cousins and all grandsons of John Lackland.
It's the first family tree of its kind, pouring through more than 500,000 names for months. 12-year-old Bridge Ann d'Avignon discovered that all the U.S. presidents, except Martin Van Buren, are related to the former King of England, John Lackland Plantagenet.
Mildred Reed is his first great-grandmother on George Washington. Obama, Mildred Reed is the 10th great-grandmother.
She started with George Washington, but unlike other professional genealogists that only looked at the male family lines, Bridge Ann was able to link the presidents together using both male and female ancestry.
So,
before
Donald turned his back, but he's still trying to negotiate a peaceful way out, and they have an agenda to kill him, okay? It's called mental pre-programming. That means that you predispose already, once you play this, your mind is already predisposed at this happening, and you accepting it, okay? So they have a picture of Donald dead in that game.
Okay.
Alright? I'm not crazy. They have the picture of Donald dead. But also,
now, for the people who have not seen this video and don't really know who Jonathan Oddi is, I will understand. He's basically is one of the sex workers that came out and said that he was hired by Diddy and Cassie, you know, in the Cassie lawsuit that she filed saying that Diddy was making her hire escorts. Yeah, he was the one who came out and said this. Mind you, now this video placed in 2017, and we seen what ended up happening in 2022 or 23 when Cassie filed a lawsuit. That was true, you know what I'm saying? And I don't have to pull up any videos because I'm quite sure everybody know there has been 2 attempts on Donald Trump's life. Okay, 2 attempts. But again, we have selective belief where we want to believe what we want to believe. You know what I'm saying?
okay, how do I know this?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. How do you know this?
Do you know Sean Combs?
Puff Daddy?
Yeah.
P. Diddy, whatever you call himself these days. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he's part of what's called the Boule. The Boule is a branch of the Illuminati.
Okay.
It's the black people.
The Boule is formed by the Greek. This is the reason why Jesse ain't done nothing. Al ain't done nothing. These are 33rd degree Freemasons. How they gonna do something when they are in position to manage you? It's the black Greek fraternities, and these that was formed in Howard University, and a lot of those famous black universities. It's also part of the Prince Hall Masons and the Elks. These are the secret societies in the hood that you don't even know that they here. And let me bless you for real. The real power of this is in the church. See, a lot of these preachers are in these secret societies, and that's why they can't preach anything. Their job is not to enlighten you. Their job is to house you. It is to pacify you. It is to give you a good feeling about your suffering, but never cause you to say there is a reason behind this. These are your councilmen and your aldermen. And the Boule is formed by the Greek.
And let's not forget, Diddy went to Howard.
I had settlement with Sean, okay? And he belongs to that agenda. That's why he's so famous. They land all the contracts. It's his attorneys, which are Mark Garagos and Ben Mercedes. Ben Mercedes worked for Bad Boy Entertainment for 4 years and worked for Hillary Rodman for 5. Now, how does this lead towards Donald Trump?
Okay.
The Mercedes family, Ben Mercedes, that works with Mark Garagos. Mark Garagos used to be Michael Jackson's attorney.
Yeah, out in Los Angeles.
Yeah. He had he dropped Michael and they OD'd him, okay? He didn't overdose. They OD'd him because they keep the royalties of the music.
FBI investigates Diddy's connection to Michael Jackson's death. New documents reveal a shocking twist. The FBI is now looking into Diddy's possible involvement in the death of Michael Jackson. That's right, the king of pop might have been silenced by someone nobody ever suspected. For years, everyone believed Michael Jackson's death was just a tragic accident. But newly surfaced documents show that Michael knew someone was after him. And guess what? Diddy's name appeared in the investigations, but why? According to leaked reports, Diddy was allegedly involved in a series of secret threats against Michael. He knew Michael was about to expose a dark scheme that involved some of the biggest names in the music industry. And when Michael tried to break free, things started spiraling out of control. Why would Diddy do this? Was he protecting something or someone? Sources close to the case say Michael was being controlled before his death. And from that point on, Michael seemed terrified. Was he becoming a problem for people who were too powerful to cross? And was Diddy the fixer brought in to make sure Michael never spoke again? But the worst part? The FBI recently found new evidence in one of Diddy's properties. Documents that might finally unlock the truth about what really happened on Michael's final night. Could this be the...
Now again, I don't know if you all have been following everything that's been going on or following this case, but Michael Jackson's head of security was Amir Muhammad, I think that's his name, which is also Puffy's head of security. And let's also not forget that he was the first person on the scene when Michael Jackson, you know, passed away. And also Corey Gamble, you know, the Black Kardashian, he was there too. I'm just saying nothing. I ain't saying nothing. Nope, I ain't saying nothing.
So what they've been doing is they've been promoting a hate agenda against Trump. So people hate him, okay, because they know he is very alpha, okay, very alpha in the sense that he likes money, he likes to make money, and he likes women, and they know they want to defame him in certain ways with Stormy, with other people, because they want him out of the government, okay? But it ain't happening because it's too smart for them. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm trying to, right?
Don is intelligent. We have a similar type of intelligence and overview of things. The only thing is he's not seeing that Hillary is a distant cousin of his and Obama have a different plan for him.
Now the only reason why that was weird to me because then that would lead credence to, you know, when people say that they're both together. Like, so if what he is saying is true, then it again makes sense why the independent party is the only party that's really allowed $5,000 per donor. They, you know what I'm saying? So basically it's kind of crippling them so that they can't even be noticed. Like, nobody knew, you know what I'm saying, that I know I didn't know because I was told that Cornel West was no longer in the race. Yeah. So it definitely will lead credence to that fact, you know what I'm saying, that they're working together, which would make you think again. It would make sense because, you know, everybody free, but they still want money. You know what I'm saying? Like, money is still the thing. So it's still, I guess, some things that the Democratic Party that was doing, that they was like, okay, they banking, you know what I'm saying? But they like, we got to let them free, you know. So then they came together to where we could be free and they could be banking. Bam. Oh my God. What? Okay.
Problem is, I'm here to expose each and single one of them to the American public for the crimes committed on September 11th, 2001, and therefore. Okay?
Now tell me though, how all of that led up to Thursday night, Friday morning.
Well, I've been trying, my settlement put me in a box. Basically, I couldn't talk because otherwise I'll be sued. So I let it be, but they've been following me and they've had Mark Garrick has had the FBI on me, has had other agencies looking at me and spying on me, okay, because they want to set me up as an extortionist, like if I was extorting Sean for money. It's wrong. Basically what happened is Diddy and Ross, which they're good buddies, okay, they're gay.
Who?
Both. Diddy and Ross and Khaled, they're all gay. Okay?
DJ Khaled, Rick Ross, and P. Diddy?
Yeah.
They all gay?
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
Khaled is a Hamas supporter. Okay.
Who supporter?
Hamas.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Sorry, I said it wrong.
No worries.
Hamas supporter. Okay.
Right.
Basically, he's Arab, Palestinian. Okay. The Ciroc agenda, okay, is basically binge drinking poured out on a yacht. They promote binge drinking and drugs.
I need the phones, guys. Need the phones. Need the phones. I need the phones. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And Quincy, I know you have 2 phones, Quincy. Oh, there you go. That's what I love. Just Glow. So proud of you, Just Glow. Look at that. Got all the phones. I have everybody's phone.
The hip-hop agenda was supported, it was laid out by Obama during his last presidencies purposely.
This is how the events went down at the meeting.
Break it down, man.
After more than 20 years, I finally decided to tell the world what I witnessed in 1991, which I believe was one of the biggest turning points in popular music and ultimately American society. I have struggled for a long time weighing the pros and cons of making my story public, as I was reluctant to implicate the individuals who were present that day. So I've simply decided to leave out the names and all the details that may risk my personal well-being and that of those who were, like me, dragged into something they weren't ready for. Between the late 80s and early 90s, I was what you may call a decision maker with one of the more established companies in the music industry. I came to Europe in the early 80s and quickly established myself in the business. The industry was different back then, since technology and media weren't accessible to people like that, like they are today. The industry had more control over the public and had the means to influence them any way it wanted.
Right.
This may explain why in early 1991, I was invited to attend a closed-door meeting with a small group of business insiders to discuss rap music's new direction. Rap music's new direction.
Yeah.
Little did I know we would be asked to participate in one of the most unethical and destructive business practices ever seen.
Crazy.
So this was the meeting. The meeting was held at a private residence on the outskirts of Los Angeles. I remember about 25 to 30 people were being there. Right. Most of them familiar faces. Speaking of those I knew, we joked about the theme of the meeting, as many of us did not care for rap and failed to see the purpose of being invited to a private meeting to discuss the future of hip-hop.
Talk to them.
Among the attendees was a small group of unfamiliar faces who stayed to themselves and made no attempt to socialize beyond their circle. Based on their behavior and formal appearances, they didn't seem to be from our industry. Our casual chatter was interrupted when we were asked to sign the confidentiality agreement, preventing us from publicly discussing the information presented during the meeting. Needless to say, this intrigued, in some cases, disturbed many of us. The agreement was only a page long, but very clear on matters and consequences, which stated that violating the terms would result in job termination immediately. We asked several people what this meeting was about and the reason for such secrecy, but could not find anyone who had the answers for us. A few people refused to sign and walked out. Nobody stopped them. I was tempted to follow, but curiosity got the best of me.
That's right.
A man who was part of the unfamiliar group collected all the agreements from us. So now it's going to get to the good part because the meeting about to start.
Talk to him, G.
It says, quickly after the meeting began, hold on one second.
Get your popcorn, y'all.
Popcorn, get your pistols. No,
for real though.
Quickly after this meeting began, one of the industry colleagues, who shall remain nameless like everybody else, thanked us for attending. He then gave the floor to a man who only introduced himself by first name and gave no other details about his personal background. I think he was the owner of the residence, but that was never confirmed. He briefly praised all of us for the success we had achieved in our industries and congratulated us for being selected as part of this small group of decision makers. At this point, I began to feel slightly uncomfortable in the strangeness of this gathering. The subject quickly changed as the speaker went on to tell us that the respective companies we represented had invested in a very profitable industry, which could become even more rewarding with our active involvement.
Damn.
He explained that the companies we worked for had invested millions into the building of privately owned prisons, and that our positions of influence in the music industry would actually impact the profitability of these investments. Then he says, I remember many of us in the group immediately looking at each other in awe and confusion. At the same time, I didn't know what a private prison was, but I wasn't the only one. Sure enough, someone asked what these prisons were and what any of this had to do with music. We were told that these prisons were built by privately owned companies who receive funding from the government based on the number of inmates. The more inmates, the more the government would pay these prisons. It was also made clear to us that since these prisons are privately owned, as they become publicly traded, we'd be able to buy shares. Most of us were taken back by this. Again, a couple of people asked what this had to do with us. At this point, my industry colleague who had first opened the meeting took the floor again and answered our questions. He told us that since our employees had become silent investors in this prison business, it was now in their interest to make sure that these prisons remain filled. Our job would be to help make this happen by making music which promote criminal behavior, rap being the music of choice. He assured us that this would be a great situation for us because rap music was becoming an increasingly profitable market for our companies, and as employees, we'd also be able to buy stocks in these prisons. Immediately, silence came over the room. You could have heard a pin drop. I remember looking around to make sure I wasn't dreaming and saw half of the people with dropped jaws. My daze was interrupted when someone shouted, "Is this a fucking joke?" At this point, things became chaotic.
Right.
Two of the men who were part of the unfamiliar group grabbed the man who shouted and attempted to remove him from the house. A few of us, myself included, tried to intervene. One of them pulled out a gun and we all backed off. They separated us from the crowd and all four of us was escorted outside. My industry colleague who opened up the meeting earlier hurried out to meet us and reminded us that we had signed an agreement and would suffer the consequences of speaking out about this publicly, or even those who attended the meeting.
Damn.
I asked him, why was he involved with something so corrupt? And he replied, it's bigger than the music business and nothing we can do. No, it's bigger than the music business and nothing we want to challenge without risking consequences. We all protested as we walked back into the house. I remember word for word the last thing he said. It's out of my hands now. Just remember you signed an agreement. He then closed the door behind him. The men rushed us to our car and actually waited until we drove off the property.
Why they had Tupac killed was when they killed him, you gain fame. When people, your record sales go up, and then people listen to your lyrics and everything, and then you become famous. Okay, that's how they do it. All right. Tupac's still alive. He's in Cuba.
Now, what messed me up about that is, again, allegedly, we don't know, but Allie Carter. I don't know if y'all know Allie Carter. You're gonna have to look her up. You know, she claims to be Tupac's daughter. Now, again, because we talking about conspiracy stuff, I'm gonna have to add her in there too. But you know, yeah, she said she was Tupac's daughter, and she said also that her daddy was alive and in Cuba. That's what our Allie Carter said. And also, actually, yes, look up Allie Carter. And see what she basically has to say, because she's someone else that I can't. Again, I don't know anything. But at the same time, she do say things to where I ain't just gonna come out and say, "Oh nah, she feels nah." I don't know.
Basically, what happens is the following. The hip-hop agenda is an agenda to move drugs all over the United States. You need to involve DEA. They move all the dope, all the dope on private jets, which don't get screened by
customs,
by DEA, inside the United States. Okay, they move what's called high-grade powder MDMA. They move cocaine, and they move liquid cocaine in the bottles too. Okay, so they put the liquid cocaine in the bottles and they move it. I've seen the liquid cocaine. I've drank it myself, having sex with Diddy and Cassie. Okay, it's not good. He drinks it all the time. Alright, he calls it G-Juice, but it's liquid cocaine. Alright. How do I know there's a conspiracy?
Okay, now. I just always just found it real weird, you know, and kind of, you know, strange. I ain't really saying that, and I'm just talking, you know what I'm saying? But I always found it kind of weird that, you know, all this stuff just started happening, like, this late around election time, and you know, Diddy or whatever, you know, once he started going through stuff, like the world started going through stuff, you know, like they started bombing stuff, and you know, Kamala, she was talking about we don't got nobody at war, but yet, you know, it was soldiers, American soldiers at war. I don't know if they didn't count. I don't know. You know, I don't know how that worked out. But, you know, they were there, but she said it wasn't there. So I don't know. You know, they were somewhere. Or maybe they were wrong. Maybe they didn't know where they were at. I don't know. However that worked out, you know what I'm saying? It just all was weird. You know what I'm saying? And it's like everything right now is weird.
It's bigger than Diddy, bro. Because you know who else they was doing investigation on during that whole time period? It was the mayor and the politicians in New York City. They turn around and give him the key to the city. All the mayor people that he brought on here in New York City are all resigning. They all resigning. People ain't gonna tie this together, but if you look at it, you have to say, because of Mayor Adams and his relationship with Diddy, it brought on the Southern District of New York to start investigating Diddy on civil lawsuits that was put against him. Because the feds is going after all these politicians in New York City. But all this is bigger than Diddy.
There you hear, oh my God, the judge is granting P. Diddy another bail hearing. He get granted another bail, a third bail hearing, and then the next day you hear that, you know, they done drop the things on him, you know what I'm saying, overseas, and then the day after that, you know, he denied the bail. Or sometime after that, right after that, it was just all weird to me. It was all weird. It's all weird to me, you know, just conspiracy allegedly. What?
How do I know there's a conspiracy against Trump? Because it's in the Illuminati card deck.
You have a relationship with Trump ever? You know, Trump loved the hip-hop community at one point. Hip-hop loved him.
He would pop up at events. We respected him as a shrewd businessman. He definitely embodied the hip-hop spirit, but God had different plans for him. God wanted to use him in this moment for change. He wanted to use Trump to expose the
list of clients that went to the island has not been made public.
Yeah, it's very interesting, isn't it? Probably will be, by the way.
So if you were able to, you'll be...
Yeah, certainly take a look at it. Now, Kennedy's interesting because it's so many years ago. You know, they do that for danger, too, because, you know, endangers certain people, et cetera, et cetera. So Kennedy is very different from the Epstein thing. But yeah, I'd be inclined to do the Epstein. I'd have no problem with it.
Yeah. Will that ever come out, do you think?
You know, I think part of why Kamala's getting so much support is that if Trump wins, that Epstein client list is going to become public.
Yes.
And some of those billionaires behind Kamala are terrified of that outcome.
Yeah. Do you think Reid Hoffman's uncomfortable?
Yes. Yeah. And Gates.
He should look at it for himself.
But let me bring you back to Thursday night, Friday morning. I mean, how did all of this? I think I better understand what you're saying. But what I want to know is, how did that prompt you? How did that make you do what you did that night?
Well, we're getting to a point that his assassination is coming. Okay, because it's an agenda they're perpetrating on the media and the news. Example, Madonna is a client of Mercedes, Ben Mercedes. He has her go on public TV and say, "Oh, someone should." I thought so many times of going up and blowing up the White House. Okay, they give her that little message. That little message is Hillary's message, okay? Because Hillary sends it to Gary Gott, and Gary Gott gives it to Mercedes, and they give it to...
Again, this is all just alleged stuff, and none of this is real, you know what I'm saying? I was talking to my brother, you know, about this video that I was going to do this video. I like, if anything happened to me, don't let me leave in vain. He was like, I ain't gonna let you leave in vain, cause if I say something, then that means something gonna happen to me too. If something happened to me, then you left in vain. in between shots, I've been taking shots, and you know, and I'm getting hungry now, so I'm a little tipsy, just a little bit. Don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe to your boy. Like, comment, and subscribe. Oh yeah, and share it. Okay. See you guys later. Okay, these are all thoughts that came to my mind when my mind was altered. So take it for what it is. Conspiracy. You're listening to the politically incorrect, non-professionally spoken channel, where I say what the fuck I want.
I want is everything that I own. Don't give a fuck who see me. Don't know what to scream me. Take everything that I see. Tell them catch me if you find me. Gasoline, no